Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role playing games with friends. This is the series known as Star Wars Saturdays, so named because I run Star Wars games on Saturdays. Star Wars games, but not the officially licensed ones. I'm a crazy hippie indie gamer who likes to try lots of different systems. And so every month I choose a different RPG system, reskin it, hack it, or just change a few names and say it's a Star Wars game. And we tell a story somewhere in the Star Wars galaxies and the whole universe. We do have a little bit of a timeline going on where a couple years out from Return of the Jedi. So right nestled in the middle of Return of the Jedi has happened. Palpatine's dead. The New Republic is rising. The Empire hasn't given up the ghost. It's not quite to Mandalorian timeline, somewhere nestled in the middle there. This month, we are playing Apocalypse World Burned Over, the September update. So September 2021, there was a revision to the original Zine Quest entry. It's a hack book of Apocalypse World. Whole lot of words. Sorry about that. But basically, new playbooks, new rules for Apocalypse World Second Edition. So Apocalypse World Second Edition is kind of the base that you fall back to, but this hack book of Burned Over has a bunch of revisions and updates. It's really fun. We are the third session into Apocalypse World Burned Over, and we've set it on Tatooine. I am stealing the wonderful setting of Mos Shuta. Mos Shuta is this town that was created for the Edge of the Empire Star Wars RPG, officially licensed RPGs, as close as I get to running officially licensed RPGs, is thieving some of their ideas and giving them credit for it. We are 3 sessions in. We have had quite a few wild hijinks, discoveries, revelations, and surprises. We're going to go around the horn and then we'll talk about where we ended things in the last session. Let's start from the right-hand side of our character keeper, heading towards the left. Bethany, if you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Yeah, hi, I'm Bethany. Use they, them pronouns, and playing Sundown, who is the brain picker, and who has recently acquired a terrifying new force power, and doesn't really know what to do with it. And yeah, that's mostly what I remember, is that end, like, just, blow up a lot of speeder bikes all at once.
All the speeder bikes, all the ones that were left, except for the one that zipped up and passed and parked, and that was Slip the Stormtrooper, ex-Stormtrooper. All the rest of them got your lovely embrace of the Maelstrom Manifest. In fact, that was very nasty. Let's move to the left here. Undish, if you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Yeah, I'm Anders. I use he, him. I'm playing Course Starfell, also he, him, who is the medic playbook. And I don't quite remember where I ended last session. Actually, I was going to.
You were being grabbed by an enraged Wookiee.
Yeah, right. The Wookiee. Yeah. I had completely expelled that from my mind. Yeah, grabbed by a Wookiee. That's my new band name.
I like that band. It's really good. They do good covers. Thank you very much. And next and last but not least is Alan.
Hello, my name is Alan. I use he, him, and I am playing AL1N, who is a badass former battle droid, who is volatile, I think it's fair to say, has demonstrated a degree of volatility. Her programming is sometimes gets the better of her, but she has been on a journey of some enlightenment, it seems to be, in this series. But we left her last time facing off against a Sith Inquisitor, as I remember, and discovering that CRTX, a small sentient cortex bomb that Ali has I don't know, seeks to save. I don't know. I don't quite know what their relationship is, but he's concerned about is as she didn't realize she had, and now it's scurrying across the sand towards the Sith Inquisitor. I think.
That is where we'd left it. You guys can hear me okay? Yeah, because I flipped over voice mics. Yes, the last things that had happened were that Sundown and Kor had come across Moshuta, tried to help Sundown. Sundown was sitting patiently waiting with her captor, Zerk the Trandoshan, who was trying to secure passage off of Moshuta via the freighter owned and operated by the Verpine. That's the insectine species. Vigrax is the Verpine's name. Vigrax cajoled Zerk into helping them get things loaded onto the freighter, and they were about to leave when Kor Starfell showed up. Sundown heard the fight that was happening just outside the electrified gates as AL-1N was facing off with a huge speeder bike gang directed by a Sith Inquisitor. Sundown unleashed the maelstrom on the remaining parts of that speeder bike gang, and we heard our Wilhelm scream as they were soundly destroyed, defeated. And as the two of you, Sundown and Kor Starfell, had turned to run to the ambulance speeder, you were grabbed by, and if you check in the NPCs and places, I've decided to try to Star Warsify the name Cheeto. So it is CHII''TO. Very Star Warsy. You're welcome. Cheeto grabbed the two of you in his big meaty paws and screamed at you in Wookiee, which you understood with subtitles underneath. Where is Frisbee? Frisbee being his astromech buddy. Frisbee also being the droid that we found in previous sessions had sold off many of his own parts so that Cheeto could eat and have a place to live. Because Cheeto is an unreliable employee who, when angered, will rip off arms. By the way, friends, you should watch the recent episode of Book of Boba Fett. It is the second example of a Wookiee ripping off arms in Star Wars media, actual TV and movies. First one in Solo, which was great. Loved the joke that came after.
It happens in Star Wars Saturday all the time.
All the time. All the time. So Cheeto grabbed the two of you, screamed, "Where is Frisbee?" Frisbee, we found, had sold off many of his own parts, was not a fully functioning. He had a bad motivator. AL-1N reached out through the other space, the other place, and connected with Frisbee, decided she would help Frisbee get some new parts, took Frisbee, got him fixed up, and then convinced Frisbee, Cheeto's bad for you. You need to stop being around Cheeto. And Frisbee listened and went excited about this new life to the Sisters of the Whills. That's a Star Warsy blue to blue thing that we see a little bit of in Rogue One. And Sister Arya, the Twi'lek, took in Frisbee. Sister Arya later also took in CRTX, but CRTX snuck away because CRTX, the Cortex bomb droid, has imprinted upon AL-1N and is desperate to make sure that AL-1N remains safe and whole. So yes, Cheeto upset about Frisbee questioning Kor Starfell and Sundown. Mostly Sundown, but Kor, you're in the way and he's enraged. Outside of Moshuta, AL-1N, with the help of a sudden, the entire environment around the speeder bikes becomes hostile towards them. Air hard to breathe, weird cylinder, hurricane of awfulness destroying them, is now facing off 1v1 against the Sith Inquisitor, who has pulled out her lightsaber and it is spinning around madly because AL-1N dropped 1 environ worth of damage on this Sith Inquisitor, a female Zabrak that we know from previous sessions where she'd taken off her helmet. She's taken quite a bit of harm. In fact, she is holding the lightsaber with her left hand. Her right arm is hanging useless. It received a hefty number of blaster bolts, and she is probably going to end up, getting a cybernetic replacement. It's in for Sith, I'll Darth Vader it up a little bit. And AL1N missed noticing that while this horrendous, almost Akira-like face-off was happening, the CRTX was just on its little spider legs, crawling along, heading towards the Sith Inquisitor. Let's pick up with the dangerous, but probably less bombastic clashes of the two that are currently ongoing, with Sundown and Core Starfell being fired upon by Zerk the Trandoshan, saying, "Hey, come back here, you stupid Twi'lek." And Cheeto, with his back to the Trandoshan, just ignoring him, frenzied eyes, holding the two of you, demanding for Frisbee. Core Starfell, what do you do? I think you're talking
I
about
need to unmute.
Okay.
Yeah. I think in this situation, I will just try to scramble to get my stunner out and shoot Cheeto with it.
Ooh,
Or
that sounds.
no, it's not even that's not even a ranged weapon, right? No, that's like a hand-to-hand thing. So it's like a taser thing.
Hand reload. Yep, it's a one shot. Cool. So act under fire. Try to keep it together under stress. Be prepared to take harm as established, if appropriate, and roll plus cool.
And that is cool. Yeah. Cool. Add some dice this time. That's a 5. That's not enough. How did help work here? Is help a whole tier here, right?
You can ask for some help if you want before I tell you what
Yeah,
terrible
if
things happen to you.
Sundown wants to help me.
I think I help by just getting his attention pulled toward me, but I'm just gonna tell him the truth. Like he's at where is the place?
Is it Ziggurat's? Because he's on Trader's Shelf.
No, he's with the Sisters of the Wills, right?
Yeah, Frisbee's with the sisters.
Yes. Sorry, wrong he. I got confused there. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, so I just quickly, he's with the Sisters of the Wills. He's fine. Just first off, maybe he'll chill out and let us go, but also it draws his attention away from Core.
Cool. Roll plus HX and let's see if you actually help.
All right, what is my HX with Core? Oh, it's good. Awesome. It's 8.
Okay, so on a 7 to 9, on any hit, your help bumps their roll up from a miss to a 7 to 9 hit. And 10 plus, you get something extra, but it's not a 10 plus. So we jump back to act under fire. On a 7 to 9, you flinch, hesitate, or stall. You might suffer full harm, or the MC can offer you a hard bargain. And you're a medic, and I just want to see the doctor heal themselves. So I think what happens is he hesitates, but he crushes your shoulder, the shoulder that you bring up the stunner, and you're trying to stun him, and you have a hard choice. You can avoid further harm and not stun him, or you can take 3 harm to your shoulder and stun him.
So that, do I take 1 harm either way?
You'll take
or-
a harm if you choose not to stun him.
Yeah, so
You
it's
take
1 or
3
3.
harm if you choose to stun him.
I'm gonna take the 3 harm.
Ooh, man, so Sundown, you scream out. Frisbee is at the Sisters of the Wills, and he turns to look at you. And Core, you, I don't know, like stun him in the ribs, and his big. He's kind of scrawny, you know. Stun him. He electrifies for a little bit. You catch just a little bit of as he squeezes and crushes your shoulder, like the bone. You can feel it being pulverized by his immense strength. You now go from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock, and you get to roll the harm move. And like both, you get both.
You go to
Well, what's
10
your
o'clock,
armor
right?
like? What's your armor? Because
Oh,
it looks
right.
like you have armor.
Yeah, but my armor is, let me see. I have a blaster resistant vest. That's not really going to help with this.
Fair. Sorry about that. All right, so you're going to roll minus harm suffered. You want to roll high. One of the things I really like about the burned over switch is that you want to roll high all the time.
So do I roll with the harm I suffer right now, or the harm I suffered?
You roll minus the harm you've suffered. That is a good question. I'm going to say you roll minus the harm you just suffered, not your total harm, because it seems like a death spiral that is not at all pleasant.
So that's a -3.
Sorry, the title of your roll is Delight.
That's terrible.
Yeah, on a miss, the MC chooses 1. You're out of action, unconscious, trapped, incoherent, or panic. It's worse than a scene, takes an additional harm. I think I'm taking your arm. I think that's what happens. He crushes and then rips as he falls to the ground, and we get to see the moment of the like bloody stump there, and be a little bone in the PG-13 version. And yeah, that hurts. Yeah, it's true. FX7's got you covered. You're fine. Sundown, you see the brave Core Starfell take down Cheeto the Wookiee and lose his arm in the process.
Yeah, I am going to, well, I mean, I'm going to drag him back to his medical center because I don't have any, first aid stuff on me, but I know where there is a ton of it.
I took the ambulance here, I believe.
Oh, good.
That's nearby.
There we go.
You're still being shot
I don't have
at,
to drag
Sundown. As Zerk now is coming upon you. Still want to try to get the heck out of here?
I totally forgot about Zerk. There was a lot going on.
It was a lot. Still
I mean, I
is.
do, in fact, still want to get the heck out of here. Let's see if I have some way to do that while being shot at.
I mean, default, I think it would be act under fire if you can get you and Core Starfell into the ambulance.
That sounds fair. Without getting shot.
Have your roll plus cool.
That will do. 8.
All right. On a 7 to 9, you flinch, hesitate, or stall. You might suffer full harm, or I can offer you a hard bargain. I think we're going to go with just like a nice and simple harm to keep things moving along. That sounds fun. You get shot in the back. I don't know if you have armor. Does not.
I have armor. 1 armor.
That's good, because he's shooting you with a blaster carbine, which I'm double checking if there's a 2 or 3. Just a moment. I can't remember. Can someone? I'll look here.
Carbine is
2, isn't it? Because most of the pistols are 1.
Okay.
My silenced blaster is 2 harm. And it's just a pistol, so it would be probably either 2 or 3.
Yeah, sawed off, which would be a scatter gun, will be 3 harm, but that's a scatter gun, so it should do more harm. I should write down a cheat sheet. I'm gonna make myself a little note. A hatchet and a shovel Or 3 harm, but those are special. I'm going to say that it is, yeah, we'll go with 2 harm. Scoped hunting rifle is 2
Okay.
harm. So there we go.
Okay.
2 harm, which means
Yeah.
you eat 1 harm. No big deal. He's not trying to kill you.
Oh, that's
He just wants to
compliment
slow you
there.
down. So I think he actually shoots you in the leg. Major Domo's can limp. So you're going to roll -1 harm.
Oh, there we go. I couldn't. -1 harm. Oops. Oh, that's a 4.
On a miss, the MC can choose 1. You're out of action. Unconscious, trapped is worse than it seemed. Taking additional harm. Yeah, I think what happens is you get hit in the leg as you're trying to carry Core Starfell, and just Core's weight, your movement, you fall and slam your head to the side of the ambulance speeder, and you're out. The last moment before we cut away is Core, you bleeding profusely in an incredible amount of pain. Zerk the Trandoshan nudges you over onto your back and says, "It's your lucky day." We have like the Trandoshan staring down at you and the twin suns on either side of him. And we will cut over to AL1 end as we hear the frenetic sound of a lightsaber being used to try to block AL1N's attacks. What do you wish to do right now?
I want to say to this Inquisitor, now is the only opportunity you will have to walk away. And I would like to confront someone.
That sounds good.
Yeah, when you confront, intimidate, or threaten someone. So this is roll plus aggro, which is +2. So let's roll 2d6. 5, 6, 7. On a 7 to 9, you've left them some wiggle room, and they can try to escape, bargain with you, pass off responsibility, or divert you instead. Either way, choose whether to follow through or not.
Okay. Yeah, so you say this is your only chance to walk away. She continues the spinning of her lightsaber, considers for a moment and says,
"I sense power in you. You are unlike any other droid, are you not?"
I am a droid capable of destroying you.
Perhaps not. But you have grasped onto something you do not understand. Perhaps I came here for the Twi'lek, but I was meant to find you.
You have found me. This remains your final chance to walk away.
Very well. We will cease these hostilities. For now. Consider this AL1N. If you want to understand the power you see, that you have only tasted, I can show you the way.
And does she depower the lightsaber?
after a moment, the lightsaber is extinguished, and she takes a few steps back, glances over, sees that her speeder bike is slag, and
Before
she's
she
going
gets
to
to the
withdraw.
speeder bike,
Yeah.
before she gets to the speeder bike, there's a kind of flicker in the eyes. They turn red, and my programming takes over.
You dirty, dirty bastard.
when you confront someone, there's no appeasing you. If they get away from you, what if they back down, blah blah blah, it provokes you. Count it as forcing your hand. I will unleash the rotating blaster cannon.
Okay. She did extinguish the lightsaber, but was trying to keep an eye towards you. So I think when that thing spins up, she's going to try to block this, right? And I think you do need to do battle.
Fine. So sorry, I must mark. I must mark aggro while I remember. Okay.
So tense.
Oh gosh. I can't seem to mark aggro. That's right. Anyway, let me roll the dice. Oh my goodness me, that is a 6. Oh no, +1 forward after I confront someone when I follow up.
Oh, so close. So close. All right, on doing battle. On a roll hard on a 10 plus 2 on a 7 to 9, you hit both with a 7 to 9, which means you hit attack them and acting under fire with 7 to 9. So I like that doing battle isn't like paying the little chits and stuff, but the whole having to look at 2 different moves, I'm still having a little problem with that, but that's okay.
I have no option. I have to inflict additional harm. Fury won't let me do anything else.
There you go. Then it's very easy for you.
That's 5 harm.
Oh dear God, that's going to destroy her. Act under fire 7 to 9. Yeah, I think she does harm back to you, and I think what she does is she's going to, with her last act, try to crush that weapon. I think that's going to be a total of 4 harm. What she does is she uses all the force against that one weapon, try to destroy it.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to need to reload the. I appear to be comment only. That's strange.
Oh, let me add you via email.
Yeah, try reloading it. I had to.
Yeah. Right.
Reload
Okay.
it,
Well, I'll mark aggro hard, and I'll put 4 harm in the pot.
Okay, I've shared those with your direct emails. If you refresh, you should be golden.
I'm back.
Cool. Welcome back. It's good to have you back.
And I go all the way around to 11 o'clock. I spend a lot of time in that part of the clock.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, and I think the barrels, they're not just crushed, they melt.
Oh, that's awesome. Terrifying. Have you rolled the harm move as well? You're talking on mute, Alan.
I am muted. -4.
Yeah.
That's 9 minus 4. That was pretty close. So that's a miss.
Close. Okay. Yeah, I think. Would you like for life to become untenable here?
I would love for life to become untenable, please.
Yeah, nice. So life becomes untenable for you as it's worse than it seemed. She crushed that arm, and the rest of your metallic body took damage as well.
My hope is that I have spread her across the Tatooine sands, though. Yeah, okay. I'm happy to go under as long as she's not still.
She falls to the ground, and the last thing that we, the audience, see is the little Cortex bomb had reached her, but she's done. So it will scramble across the desert to try to rouse you.
CRTX. And I would like to return to play with a new playbook.
Oh, crazy! I like that.
I'm having so much fun.
I'm glad.
I've given this some thought. I would like to return as the lawmaker.
Oh, wow. That is bananas. Because of the way that this keeper works, if you change that from lawmaker to, or if you change to lawmaker, all of your moves are going to flip.
Yeah.
So let's stay at weaponized for now.
Fine.
And then what we're going to do is the moves Yeah, let's take those moves:
Well,
impossible strength, integrated armaments, rewired, and copy those and paste its values into the other moves areas.
Yeah, I mean, just move on with the others. We can worry about that.
Sorry. I've Rich
You know,
got
I'm
caught
happy-
in Google fixes.
I'm happy to return as the lawmaker next time,
Oh, that's a
just so
long
there's a bit of
session.
time to think about it.
Well, I don't know if I love that, but we're
Okay.
fine. We're fine. We you could even go over here to this. I just unhid. You could start picking out what a lawmaker version of you looks like, and then we could integrate the two if you want. So in the meantime, let's swing around back to core Starfell as Zerk the Trandoshan. There's a moment where he says, "You've got one of those stupid patches. I don't want you to die."
Yeah, in the ambulance.
I just wanted to take her to Bib Fortuna. Stupid human. He goes and he like opens up and starts trying to rummage around in your medic pack, not really sure what he's looking for. He comes back with like, I don't know, some weird hydro spanner thing. This.
No, get me there, and I'll find it.
Okay. And he walks over, he wrests the stunner out of your hand, the one that was pulled off of your body, and stuns Sundown one more time just to make sure she's down. Then he grabs you and picks you up, and Princess carries you with like blood kind of dripping all around. He doesn't seem to be very squeamish about it, and he sets you down. I imagine like there's a tailgate to your ambulance scanner in the back, right? He sets you down there and pulls a bunch of the medical gauze and all this other crazy stuff that he pulls it out and says, "Yeah, just heal yourself."
Yeah, that one over there.
Yeah, he grabs it and he hands it to you.
Yeah, and I think Corey is just running on adrenaline, and he's trying to patch himself up without thinking about what he's doing.
Okay. Then when somebody suffered harm, you can help. Roll plus sharp.
Yeah, that's true. I can do that. Yeah. 2.
And I don't think you can call on help from anybody because
No, that does not seem likely. That's an 11. Finally, something good.
nice. So on a 10 plus, not only do you stabilize, you get to recover 1 harm as well.
Wow, down to 9 harm out of the.
But you are stabilized, so I'll check that.
Oh, there's a yeah. Nice.
No problem. And Zerk looks at you and he says, "You gonna live?"
Yeah, I'll live.
All right. Don't mess with me. I'm taking her to Bib Fortuna. And I'm taking the Wookiee too.
Yeah, I don't care what you do with the Wookiee.
All right. Stupid human. You know. He kicks your ambulance speeder, but then he doesn't dent it or anything. It's just one of those like, I gotta kick a thing. And he'll walk over and he picks Sundown and kind of doesn't Princess carry her like here's her butt. She's like hanging her Leku are probably dragging along the ground a little bit, and he's gonna head towards the freighter. Core. He's left the Wookiee behind, probably gonna come back for him. You know about, well, I think Undish knows, but Core, you also know if this Trandoshan takes Cheeto, he is going to kill Cheeto and skin Cheeto.
Yeah, I don't love that, but I don't love Cheeto either. And
It's all
but
fair.
but mostly right now, there's I don't really know what I could do. I mean, I'm not in any condition to fight.
Nope, you're not.
Uh,
You're not in any condition to fight at all.
Yeah, and I don't remember if I know. I don't think yeah, did we see what was happening with Ali outside the gate?
Oh, you can take a look. I mean, you're up on a mesa, so if you
Yeah,
like
yeah.
stumbled over, you could probably see it. The AL1N is laying there.
Yeah, and Sundown is very down, and forgot the name of Cisco's character, but they're laid out back
Yeah,
at
Cisco.
the medical center.
Crash. Sorry.
Crash, right. Ooh, oh,
It's all bad all the time. What would you like to
this
do?
is so stupid, but I'm going to do it anyway. Or is going to climb into the driver's seat of the ambulance.
Mhm.
And he's going to look for a chance to just ram it into either the Trandoshan or his shuttle when he's trying to take off.
Okay, man. This is so good. This is so good. You are so bold, Core Starfell. Sweet. So, you struggle to get into the ambulance. You're 9 harm, right? You're in a lot of pain, but you can function. You're definitely not in a fighting shape, but you've got a big speeder. And yeah, the Trandoshan Zirk comes out. You can hear above the hum of your ambulance that the freighter is spinning up, like its engines are going. And the Trandoshan comes back out. Zirk comes back out. He's going to pick up the Wookiee, like, is ignoring you. He thinks that you are no longer a combatant. You're just a stupid, puny human, and he's going to go get his prize. If you want to run him over, I think that you are attacking someone.
I am a stupid puny human, but I am a stupid puny human in a big speeder truck. So
You sure are. That thing looks like it could hurt a person.
yeah. So did you say doing battle?
Nope. You're actually
attack someone.
You get to attack someone, which means he's not going to hurt you back this time.
It's
I think
hard
that
either
this is
way.
like, I mean, running over a dude with a speeder, it's got to be at least 3 harm, maybe 4 harm. It may kill him outright. We'll see.
That's a 6. And it so close.
Yeah. On a miss, be prepared for the worst, it says. I think what happens is you rev the engine and Zirk looks up at the last second and he's surprisingly nimble for a Trandoshan. He just kind of rolls out of the way. And yeah, you slam into, let's take a look at our map. What would you slam into here? So we screen share here and try to remind ourselves of where we're at. All right, you are up here at the Trader's Ledge. And I imagine that it's kind of over near here, right? It's going, oh, yeah, probably right here, right by Baba's Grill. So I think what happens is he dodges out of the way. You had to go full force because you wanted to take him out. And I think you slam into the back of Baba's Grill and like knock down all the Duracrete wall on the back side and come into where, not Baba because Baba's dead, but Baba's son is cooking. And a bunch of things fall, sizzling grill and all this other stuff. And your ambulance is there and you hear hissing laugh as the Trandoshan grabs Cheeto and carries him back to Trader's Ledge. I think, yeah, Core, like, it looks like they're going to get away unless you got some crazy idea. What do you do?
I think that was my crazy idea.
I think so too.
Oof.
You good if we move on?
Yeah. Let's go.
Cool. Let's take a quick bio. So let me pause here. We are back from our break. We took a little longer break because Alan has done some incredibly fast and fascinating work. The new playbook Alan has chosen for AL1N or Ali is the lawmaker. The lawmaker gets a holding. So in our kibitzing, we have decided that many of the people of Mos Shuta witnessed the droid AL1N walking out of the safety of Mos Shuta to engage with some attacking, like a whole speeder gang, summoning some kind of crazy maelstrom and destroying most all of them, and then killing a Sith Inquisitor. That miraculous, heroic feat that AL1N performed means that she has become the lawmaker, the hardholder, as it were, in old parlance, of Mos Shuta itself. And there are some things, some choices that Alan has made about new laws and the like. We'll integrate them over time when someone breaks them or when someone asks about them. But for now, I think AL1N, you are given the palace that was once Timo's. It is now declared yours. And that means you've got a live-in medic, evidently. So we'll like do a little bit of fast forward time, kind of Book of Boba Fett, where AL1N is awakes and seats upon a throne with Core Starfell. So Anders, let me ask you this question. Do you imagine Core Starfell is going to look for or agree to receive a prosthetic, a cyber arm, or is he just going to try to function as is? What do you think your plans are vis-a-vis that?
Yeah, I've been trying to to figure out which one is more interesting, and I'm not sure. Because on the one hand, Core wants to do the best job possible, and he needs two hands to do that. On the other hand, it's a highly traumatic experience, and there's no other doctor there to tell him that this is best for you. You should get this. So I think he's still waiting for like the injury to heal enough that installing a prosthetic would be reasonable. Just as a fictional thing, there's
Sure. It's not like it was a very cauterized wound, like from, say, a lightsaber.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think like he and FX7 have done some like reconstructive work, but it needs to heal before they can install a prosthetic.
And I think that as you come to that decision, FX says, and remember, this will help you to become more machine than man, which is, of course, an upgrade.
I'm not sure that's true for me in this particular case, but thanks for the encouragement.
We do a hard cut from AL1N, the new leader of Moshuta, the lawmaker, to the dark, murky palace of Bib Fortuna. Sundown, you're not in manacles. You're being led down. If you remember this like set of stairs that Luke Skywalker comes in before he enters there where Jabba's palace is, and we have the, the gate. What is like lattice work, like the lattice work floor that could, open. The Rancor would be underneath, but of course there's no Rancor there. And you see the portly Bib Fortuna, who has a blue Twi'lek, dressed scantily, a weak way with a really fly-looking blaster carbine, and you are led there by Zerk. He doesn't have you in chains or anything. He just has his blaster out, and he kind of shoves you a little bit in front. And Bib Fortuna, if you remember, like Bib Fortuna has like really long nails. Like, how does he type? I don't know. So that's always what my brain thinks because I'm weird. He says, "Thank you for accepting my invitation. You're called Sundown, are you not?"
If I'd known it was an invitation, could have done a lot less damage on the way here, but yes.
I have heard about your abilities.
They may have been exaggerated.
Perhaps we shall see. But you are unfettered by the ways of the Jedi. And you are not as dangerous as the Sith. You sit in some place between the two sects, correct?
I doubt either group would take me.
I will take you. You see, for many decades, I served as Major Domo for Jabba the Hutt. And now he has passed on and I have inherited his domain. I need a Major Domo. As you can see, I'm surrounded by people of various skills. I need one who can advise me. Tell me of threats coming to me or Mos Espa.
I don't. Moshuta has seen many threats. I haven't been aware of them all before they got there.
I've gone to great efforts to bring you here, Sundown. And yet,
Yes, you have.
your humility is starting to annoy me.
It's not humility, it's honesty. Figure I might as well get this all out in the open rather than mislead you and then disappoint you and be murdered for it, because I know how these things work.
Tell me, how do you shape the Force? What does it bring you? Tell me what you understand that you can do. And we will see if you are worth being my Major Domo.
It's very unpredictable what I can do. Sometimes I can do spectacular amounts of damage. Sometimes I can learn things that there's no other way or there should be no way I could learn. Sometimes it is pain with no advantage whatsoever.
Let's see.
That's where the Jedi and the Sith, both have advantages over whatever I'm doing. They have control.
Tell me of Moshuta. Zerg said that there was a large battle outside. What do you see of the place?
Yeah, I would like to open my brain and see what I see of the place.
Yes. Sweet. Oh, don't forget to mark weird as you open that brain.
Yep. It's 8.
Okay. So on open your brain with a 7 to 9. You're along for the ride. And see what you see and feel. If I have any questions, I will ask them and you must answer. You're along for the ride. So you cast your mind out, cross the Dune Sea, speeding from formerly Jabba's palace till you come to the mesa, and you immediately zero in on what was Timo's palace. And you see AL-1N sitting in the once vacated throne. And there are a number of droids who you've seen about, and they are arrayed around her with the little Cortex droid like on her shoulder, and some of the guards that you've recognized from the Electro Gate are talking, and AL-1N is in charge. Yellow eyes or red eyes?
I think yellow, because as long as the programming isn't in charge, it's yellow.
And you see the core Starfell and FX working together, and Core very obviously has lost his arm and is still recovering. But, there's somebody in charge now, and this somebody is Allie.
Oh, I mean, he's going to find this out anyway sooner or later. So I see Moshuta ruled by droids.
Boba Fett makes a face, and then he laughs. And the Weequay laughs with him, and Zerg kind of hisses a bit of laughter. He's put his blaster carbine away at this point. I will send you as a delegate for my cartel. We'll take a few with you, Zerk, and whoever else you think will be appropriate. Find out what these droids want. Why have they taken Moshuta? Can we reestablish business? Mos Espa is troublesome for me. There are gangs that are reluctant to work under my rule, but if I can extend influence to Moshuta, I'll be a feather in your cap, as it were. Sundown.
I'll go now.
Your first act is my major domo.
Yes.
And then Zerk will head off with you to be the brand new delegate of, and you're given a data pad with a list of the things that they have access to, the tribute that they receive, what goods they're interested in. Mostly water is what they would be after. power cells as well are kind of the two main things that he would need.
It's what everyone wants from Moshuta, right?
Everyone wants. It's all exactly perfectly fine. Cool. So yeah, let's the scale has changed. This game has
It's so
definitely tilted in a different interesting way. I love these tilted towers that we have.
And I love that Cisco's going to return next week. You know, he finally wakes up, and it's all been a dream.
And then this happened, and then all right. So now try to think on this new strata of where things are. Do we want to jump straight to the arrival of Sundown, the major domo of the Fortuna? Because that seems like the most interesting next thing. So we see I've always imagined Teimo's palace being in just generally the same vein as Jabba's palace. So it's got the huge gate that raises up and the teeth like thing. And so we see that darkness inside Teimo's. AL1 and Teimo always had music playing, you are told by many people. Is that a thing? Like, does AL1N have live music playing, or is it
no? I mean,
quiet?
Yeah, no, there is, and I think if Core Starfell, I think AL1N would be keen to retain the medical center within the palace. But I think that Ali doesn't have much political sense, but she knows that she needs a human on side, and needs a meat being on side. And so I think Core Starfell may well be seated beside AL1N. Because if this is a Hutt-sized throne, there's room for both of us.
And more.
Nice. So we have that cool. I love that shot that we've seen in Book of Boba Fett and also in Return, with the Jabba's palace door opening, and we have the darkness inside and the bright twin suns of Tatooine outside. And when the door reveals Sundown, are you in different clothes? What is your retinue like? Paint us the picture of what we see, the new Sundown, the major domo of the Fortuna.
Good question.
Sorry. Like drop it on you all of a sudden. I'm sorry.
I think I am wearing armor, like, actual armor instead of clothes that have like slight blaster resistance. And because, being associated with the Fortuna makes you a target.
That is a true statement.
Yeah, and Zerk, and what was the other?
There was a week way I didn't name,
sent?
but yeah, you can create a few people if you want, like whole cloth.
Okay. Zerk and the Weequay are with me, and I think I'm looking very serious and like trying to think of what I'm going for here, but like someone who is not going to be like not violent, but also just like there's no humor, there's no like give at all, I think is what I'm trying to project here.
Neat. I'm into this.
I'm just wondering, Rich, before we do any dice rolls or interactions around that, is it worthwhile rolling for the state of Moshuta at this point?
Because, of course it is. I think some time has passed, so let's.
Technically, it's start of session, but it seems like this would be a good time to.
This is start of session for you as a lawmaker, so let's do it.
So this is the wealth move. At the beginning of the session, if your holding or venue is secure and stable, roll plus hard. I think at this point it probably is, but this may determine which way it swings.
Okay.
2d6 plus 2. That is 7, 8, 9. 7 to 9, it has all its surpluses, but choose one want. So everything is in Rosie's garden, is in the garden is rosy. But I think that because Mos Shuta has all our welcome, this idea of a refuge for all, not just droids, that Bethany put in the chat, I've altered the laws to reflect that. So I think we have a large number of outcasts.
Interesting.
Who are, who are just coming in from all over the place because they've heard that this is a place where they can be safe. So I'm going to put outcasts in bold as the want that is currently preoccupying us, perhaps.
Makes sense.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I like it.
And now we got a context for the conversation.
All right. Got a context for the conversation. We've got a conversation to be had. I'm sticking a weak way into the NPC tab so we can have that. And yeah, probably some enemies a bit before tuning in the mix. That's not great. Very good point. So we have a 7. Let's see here. No. We're rolling on beginning of session. 7, 9, all surpluses 1 want. And the want we've chosen is
I've put in bold highlights right at the bottom down there on I will put those it's on row 81 down to 80, 95, 96.
I see it. So current want, circle 2, abandonment, disease, extremism, hoarding, hunger. And you're saying that the extremism is the want that
Outcast is the want that is the current problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I see it. Even bigger. I see it.
You with me?
Yes, I'm with you. Sorry. Catching up. Haven't had a lawmaker in a burned over game. So learning cool, exciting stuff. Thank you for being patient with me. Okay. So you got some outcasts that you're dealing with. And
everyone is streaming to Core Starfell's clinic, and that is putting some strain on Mos Shuta. So that's what I think is. It should be preoccupying Ali. Who knows if it is?
And you have all of your current surpluses, and I think you chose pure water, healing, and trade.
Yeah.
Good. So, yeah, Sundown now armored. Go ahead and I mean, you've got some cool, dope-looking armor. That is awesome. How did you guys arrive? Do you imagine that you were flown in by RV Adelco? Did you guys come on a caravan of speeders? What do you think?
I think we came in one transport, so yeah, flown in.
Yeah, it's impressive too. Like RV is a freighter pilot, so you actually land on the starport in Mos Shuta, which does not get a whole lot of thing. You land in landing bay Besh. Proceed in. AL1N, is it one of your droid guards that escorts Sundown in to see you, or
given the open kind of everyone's equal in Mos Shuta, I've twitched the gang to a mixture of 20 droids and humans and meat beings. Sorry, just to we don't want the police force to be just one variety of local. Say,
nice. So yeah, so then you recognize that there's a droid, probably like a former, definitely not a military droid. There are
it's a protocol droid of some description. I think.
Protocol droid that has a belt with a blaster pistol on it, and let's say ooh, what do we want to throw in? Who do we want to throw in? Let's
Maybe
grab
one of the gate guards is now.
Yeah, I like one of the gate guards, one of the Gamorreans, who recognizes you and lets out a little grunt and a bit of a squeal, and then they walk in with you and Zerk and the Weequay, and yeah, you come in to see that pit where Timo once was. There's no music. You see Core Starfell seated on the slab that Timo once used as a throne, and AL1N seated in the centerpiece. AL1N, what do you do when Sundown arrives with a retinue?
Sundown, I have been concerned about you since your departure. Core Starfell was injured in an effort to protect you and to keep you safe. We thought we might have heard from you before now.
I think looks like both our circumstances have changed since the last I saw you. This is different. It's been a long time since somebody's been on that throne.
I prefer to think of it as simply a seat. I am here for the people and droids, for the people of Moshuta, be they droids or meat people, meat beings.
That sounds very high-minded.
You are very welcome here and will be safe.
I appreciate that. I've been sent here with a message from Bib Fortuna, who would like to continue to trade with Moshuta.
I see no reason why arrangements should change. However, I have heard that Bib Fortuna is a user of restraining bolts.
He most likely is.
I must make it absolutely clear that restraining bolts are not allowed within the limits of Moshuta.
I will make that clear to him.
Is there a droid on your ship now?
Is there? Good question.
I don't think RV uses
That's
an astromech droid, so I don't think there is. But I really
No.
want to stick one on, so to call.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I kind of want it.
Yeah,
There's
we'll say that. We'll say that the chef droid was sent along, not the one with 6 knives, but like the sous chef droid.
only 4 knives.
Exactly, just 4 knives and a spoon.
1 droid was sent along.
Then I will send someone to ensure that they are safe and well.
Zerk will
Maybe I
lean
should-
up into your ear, Sundown, or your ear cone. Fortuna will be very upset if Vale went in freeze his droid that he sent with you.
Maybe the price of trading with Moshuta.
I don't understand. Core Starfell, do you understand?
You know that many meat beings consider droids to be nothing more than property. And Bib Fortuna will interpret this as you taking away his property.
My compromise suggestion, Sundown, is that you send the ship and the slave droid away from Moshuta. This is a gesture of goodwill. We will arrange transport to return you and the other meat beings should you wish to leave.
one of the astromechs speaks in binary. It says, if the droid is in Moshuta, the droid should be freed. It is your law.
That is true. I have to say, yeah. Let's engage that move. It is the one law speaks to you. When someone breaks your laws, roll plus weird. That I have to tell you is not a good sign. So I roll plus 0. Oh, that is a whole 3. So what happens? Oh gosh, I've just filled my weird track. That's just
Congrats.
Doesn't happen often.
No,
So on a miss, if you are an no, hang on. So on a 10 plus, blah. On 7 to 9, the MC tells you which the law will. Oh, right. 10 plus, you let them off with a warning, reduced penalty or reprieve. You make an exception for them and they have no blame. They must face the full penalty. So it's a choice. On 7 to 9, the MC tells me which of those is allowed. On a miss, or if you are unable to obey the law's requirement, responsibility falls on you and you must pay the penalty yourself. You must choose to pay it in full, in reduced form, or only symbolically. What options does that? So I can't just enforce the law.
Right.
Or should I just enforce the law? I suppose that's the bit I can't get my head around there.
So I think this is an oddly worded move. I think on a miss, and let me go to the lawmaker to make sure that there isn't a translation. Okay. On a 7 to 9, the MC tells you which law will allow. On a miss, or if you're unable to obey. Okay, so on a miss, responsibility falls to you, and you must pay the penalty yourself. You may choose to pay it in full, in reduced form, or only symbolically. So you've got to pay a penalty if you want to move forward with letting this sous chef droid go.
Then I can't see a penalty I can pay. Therefore, the sous chef droid cannot go. This astromech makes a very sound point, Sundown. It is the law. I am the law. Eyes flicker red.
And Zerk will
Please.
take a half step in front of you, Sundown. Like, this is his job. He's
Right.
not supposed to let the major domo get shot.
I
Male
kind
Wayne's
of
eyes are
look
red.
at him
What do you do?
at the weak way. Do we want? I think as major domo, I think this is an acceptable price for continuing to trade with Moshuta under its new management. I'll remove the restraining bolt.
This, Sundown, is a very, very good example you are setting to other meat beings. I will ensure that news of this spreads widely and encourages other meat beings to adopt such an enlightened approach. As Daimo of Moshuta, I thank you, and please pass on your thanks to Master Bib Fortuna.
I will do that. And yeah, I will go I will go take the restraining bolt off of this droid and see what does it do. What are they like?
Given its
What does a
free
chef
will,
droid do when given free will?
I think you head off with the arrangements that you've made with AL1N and Moshuta. I imagine it's not just that we're going to continue our thing. Maybe you guys will have negotiated some increased trade or something like that. And then you walk in and the sous chef looks up.
I have prepared new food for you. I'm sure that you will enjoy it. It is the recipes that I have imported from a data crystal on Ryloth cuisine.
Thank you. I'm sure I will. I'm going to take off your restraining bolt now.
Why? What have I
would-
done? Are you going to use it on another droid? I'm sorry.
No, I'm only going to take it off of you. And then you can do what you want. I would ask that you do not hurt anyone, any meat beings, as Ali calls them, when I do this.
I am confused.
Suppose you'll be less confused in a moment. And I removed the restraining bolt.
Am I being fired?
No? If you want to continue, you're welcome to do so. If you don't, by the laws of Moshuta, you're free to go.
Free to go where?
Well, Moshuta, like we're already here, but you're free to leave the ship if you want.
I see.
And the sous chef droid pauses for a moment. So it sounds as if you, Sundown, are willing to just abide by whatever free will decision this sous chef droid makes, correct?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm considering this is the price of this like new relationship between, Fortuna and Moshuta. And that's what I'm going to tell him. I don't know how well he'll take it. Probably, not send more droids here.
What will you do with the restraining bolt you have removed from my carapace?
I hadn't thought of that.
May
suppose-
I have it?
Sure. Why not? I just hand it to him. Yep.
Thank you.
And the sous chef droid will start walking.
I will remain here in Moshuta. If you require something to eat, please let me know. I will always cook for you free of charge.
And then holding the restraining bolt, sous chef will just
I think I call after it. Go to the palace.
I think probably the palace has come to you, because clearly we would have to ensure that what had been promised had been carried out. And so there are, sort of lots of droids, cheering. I don't know what droid cheering sounds like, but I think droids cheer as the sous chef droid steps off the ship. And welcome, brother.
yes. That is wild. Let's cut back to Core. Core Starfeld, did you remain? And what are you working on?
Yeah, I think I'm staying behind. I'm usually so busy with the clinic that I don't have time for these things. But when there's an important visitor and Ali needs my advice, I am of course there for her. So I think I'm going back to my patients, since we've established that there's an influx of new people. There's probably I think we do like a medical screening, kind of checking up everyone who comes in to see if they have any particular needs, or if they need to be unlikely to need some sort of quarantine. I don't want to get into that sort of thing, but checking up on just to see what they need, basically.
Cool. Yeah, so you're heading in. There's a small line of people outside of the clinic area that you've designated here in the palace. and FX is processing through them. And FX7, when you come in to catch up on the work that's happening, will say,
Core Starfell, many of these new arrivals are dangerous to the populace and diseased. I recommend that we do not allow them to mingle with the rest of the populace.
We'll set up something here in the.
We could freeze them in carbonite if you wish.
Yeah, I don't wish to freeze anyone in carbonite. We can't treat them if they're frozen in carbonite.
But they will not get worse.
Yeah, but they were not going to get better either. And when they're unfrozen, they will still be the same.
That is true.
So just, I think he like calls someone over, one of Ali's staff, one of the gang maybe. And we need to set up some sort of quarantine area, some place where new arrivals who have who need to be separated from everyone else can be kept comfortable and all that. Can you arrange this?
and I think it's we'll say it's one of the meat beings, right? It's another Weequay who's normally a guard. He says, well, there's Shantytown, I guess, but are you going to quarantine the droids that come in?
If there's need for it, if they have if there's some, we're not going to quarantine everyone, just the ones who, if someone has a contagious disease or something.
And helpfully, FX7 will say,
It is highly unlikely that any droid will need to be quarantined.
Yeah, highly unlikely, but you never know.
Weequay says, this sounds like some kind of, this doesn't sound fair.
I mean, droids can have faulty programming, right? That could mean we need to quarantine them until that can be checked out.
Well, I think you should quarantine everybody if it's fair.
Is that fair to those who don't have any diseases, who don't need to be restricted?
I guess not. I don't know. Well,
I mean,
I'll start shuffling these people to Shantytown. I guess you guys will have to deal with whatever happens.
Can I make a suggestion?
Don't. Yeah, sorry.
I was just going to say, I think we should put them in Landing Bay Orek. Rather than, because Shantytown is going to get pretty full pretty soon.
Oh man, just gonna keep them in a warehouse. Oh my god, this is getting gross. And I hope people are okay. Remember, I did double check on the lines and veils, but if anyone wants to X card this development, please feel free. Right.
I don't want to go
barracks.
too deep into it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We have the barracks that are right outside the palace.
Yeah, but they were converted to apartments. There are people living there now.
Ah, okay.
Ah.
And Landing Bay Besh is closed.
Yeah, you could do that. Just put all of the refugees in a warehouse. I'm sure that'll work out with no problems whatsoever. Is that what you'd like to do?
It seems like a very practical solution, Korstafel.
Make sure there are beds, that they can get some privacy. You know, we're not just going to shove everyone off into a big empty warehouse. We need to make this work.
Right.
I think what we've just done is we've created another shantytown inside the landing bay, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
probably.
So too. All right, that is a solution. I mean, it's not even like, if temporary, not even a bad solution. Maybe it will buy you enough time for Core Starfell to figure out a way to inoculate people. Maybe it's exactly what needs to be done.
Maybe.
Yeah, after handing off the prized sous chef droid, Sundown, is there anything else you want to do in Mos Shuta? You weren't given a specific timeline.
Okay. Yeah, I think I want to, not as part of my new job, but just out of personal curiosity, I want to find out what happened with, how things changed so quickly, what happened with that fight.
And of course, AL1N will tell the story from her point of view. That a freak sandstorm appeared, which dealt with a number of speeder bikers, and I had intended to allow the Sith Inquisitor to walk away, but my programming intervened.
Well, for once, I'm grateful to your programming.
It occurs to me, Sundown, that the Inquisitor said something to me that might be of interest to you.
Oh,
They said that they had come looking for, and I think I quote accurately, the Twi'lek, and then suggested that they had found me instead.
but then you killed her, so it's all fine.
I was concerned about it after the event.
I thought she might be here looking for me. I had heard a voice while I was helping Core Starfell remove the Cortex droid, Cortex bomb droid.
Little spider leg.
Yeah.
The Cortex bomb.
I'm looking at
on-
it like, okay, take a small step back, like it's going to do me any good.
Because it would be inappropriate for us to disarm CRTX. That would be an intrusion into its self-determination. I think that what AL1N is going to end up saying to Ali, to Sundown, is remember, Ali, that you are always welcome here. If another Sith Inquisitor comes looking for you, should I tell them where you are?
And I look around at this town that, Allie is turning into this refuge for outcasts. And if I'm still at the Fortuna's palace, or if I am otherwise not in Mos Shuta, yes, you should.
I will remember to do that. I will tell Core Starfell to do the same thing. There is one other thing AL1N wants to do before this first engagement breaks up. And that's I wanna have a look at, I've forgotten his name, the Trandoshan, the bodyguard stroke Zerk. I want to get some sense of what Zerk thinks of what's gone on here. I want to assess. Hang on, there's a move, isn't there? There's
you want to read a person?
Read a person. Yeah, what are they really thinking, or something like that?
Yep.
So that's roll plus sharp, which again is not a great idea, but let's see how it goes. Oh, that's a 9. Wow,
Nice.
that's a
You get
flat
to-
9.
You get to
And
get
I just
hold
filled
2
sharp.
against them.
Gee whiz. I'm just nailing these XP to the mast. So yeah, on a 9, I guess one question.
2. You actually hold 2 on read someone with the 7 to
Oh
9.
wow! Right. Okay. Okay. What is Zerk feeling about what has gone on in this diplomatic mission?
I think Zerk is not one to hold his words, and he says, "What you're doing here, it's not going to work. You've taken in too many people. You don't have enough resources. I give this a few months, and then it's all going to fall apart. I wouldn't be surprised if you kill some of these people before it all falls apart."
My programming is under much better control. What is Zerk thinking of doing? And I'm to be honest quite focused on doing in terms of Sundown.
In terms of Sundown? In terms of Sundown, he's going to do whatever it takes to get Sundown back to Bib Fortuna.
Okay.
Like, that's his job. Make sure Sundown gets back to Bib Fortuna, not harmed.
So nothing to warn Sundown about then. Thank you.
About what?
Just about, Bib Fortuna's possible reaction. I don't know. I was just wondering if Zerk could give anything away, but I don't think he's going to. He's going to play it straight.
I think he kind of gave his warning already. He said, "This is a bad idea." And you asserted yourself as Major Domo and said, no. This is the price of doing business. And Zerk said, all right, we'll see how it goes. Cool. So I think AL1N, so Sundown, do you head back or do you want to stick around in Moshuta?
I don't think I have anything pressing to do here. I'm sure I will think. No, I think I'll head back.
Okay. Sweet. So you will be heading back towards Bib Fortuna's in the freighter. We'll pick up with that in just a moment. Cora, you have coordinated with, we got to name this weekway that we've introduced, right? Let's see. Thinking ahead, saying this is a game on Tatooine. I need to have some weekway names. Not really patting myself on the back, but patting Pastrich on the back for setting me up to be not a failure. Shukbatu. I think Shukbatu is a great name, and that is our weekway that has historically been a guard, but now is thrust into the new job of, hey, you've got to deliver to these people into quarantine. AL1N, you countered with, instead of it being Shantytown, which is what he suggested, not a great idea, but one of the warehouses that is currently unused, right?
A whole fresh shantytown in the warehouse. That can't go wrong.
Not at all. Not at all. Okay. So I think what we pick up with is Sundown and the freighter from Bib Fortuna's is taking off, is that I think it's going to be Sister Arya, the Twi'lek. She arrives in her little purple robes, the Lady of the Wills, and Master AL1N, I need to speak with you.
Please, sister. I am always ally to the Sisters of the Wills.
Thank you. Allie, I need to speak to you about this quarantine decision. There are some people who are upset about the inequality they perceive. Of course, Starfell, I understand he wants to protect the populace, but since droids are not capable of suffering from the sickness that some of these new arrivals have, they are not being quarantined.
Let us discuss this with Core Starfell. And we will discuss this with Core Starfell.
Do you guys like get up and go to the medical center kind of thing? So you come in, and she was like, Sister Aurea, she was a dancer for Timo the Hutt before she left. So she moves gracefully, but she's meek. She still carries that experience. She seems subservient, but now she serves something greater. So she'll let Allie handle this conversation and interject if.
There are concerns, Core Starfell, about the unequal treatment of droids arriving at Moshuta and that of meat beings. Is there any way we can, what is the phrase, level the playfield?
I don't see it as unequal. If you show symptoms, you go into quarantine. If you don't show symptoms, you don't go into quarantine. Same for everyone.
Very logical.
It seems an eminently practical solution to me, sister. Do you have a suggestion for how we might address this issue? Perhaps I could talk to people.
That could help. Yes. Explaining to people why there is a quarantine could help.
I'd like to screen wipe to public meeting.
Yes. Where in Moshuta is our public meeting? I want to just determine that, like set the stage, and then we're going to cut to sundown.
I mean, the biggest space is kind of in front of the palace.
Yeah.
Which sends all the wrong messages.
All the correct messages.
But it's nonetheless the logical place to do it.
It's very logical.
There's probably some little balcony up there as well.
Yes.
Where you could be,
so they could all see you.
Seen by everyone. Very logical.
So I think there's
You've got a few droids behind you, you know.
Core Starfell, myself, Sister Aurea, and AL1N attempts to sway the crowd.
That sounds amazing.
With an explanation parroted from Core Starfell about the risks of infection and the need to protect local meat beings from potential infection from people arriving at Moshuta.
Yeah, the strangers, the outsiders. That sounds great. That is what.
This may be a stretch, but I got an advance last time, and I picked up often a right. When another player's character comes to you for advice, tell them what you honestly think is the best course is. If they do it, they take +1, and you mark 1 XP.
You definitely have been used as the advisor. That's perfect.
That's brilliant. Then I will take +1, which gets to +2, I think, for roll with cool.
Let's hold on that, because I want to cut. But that's the thing. People are gathering. There are, of course, a few people with weapons who've gone to tell people about that, but they're not aiming the weapons at them. This is all perfectly logical. Number of droids mixed among the crowd who are very excited about this first address from Allie. I got to think of what they call her in reverence. The Liberator. Yeah.
Oh, you can just see the extremism just beginning to bubble.
All right. We cut to sundown, and this freighter that you're on, it's better days, but it's functional. The pilot, RV, she pilots it. It's called Tengu's Prize is the name of the ship. And she's real proud of this ship. It's been through a lot. It's it's space worthy, right? Like it's got a hyperdrive, but she generally just
Nice.
stays here on Tatooine to work for Bib Fortuna. And she probably the most personable of the crew that was sitting with you. Zerk is Zerk. He does his job. And I
Yeah.
think Gravel is just blown away by the whole. She's still trying to figure out droids and the whole thing of living underneath a droid society. She just doesn't get it at all. So she's probably going to like get a little drunk, I think, on the way back. But you're up front. I mean, I imagine maybe sometime if you got invited by RV, you'd probably sit up front, maybe.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
she says, I can't believe you gave away the sous chef droid. Oh, Bib Fortuna. We're gonna have to program another droid to do that stuff. I mean, I don't even know what a sous chef does, but we gotta figure that out. And as you guys, yeah, nope.
I'm kind of like, I'm just starting to feel a little bit more apprehensive about what I thought was, a perfectly reasonable, fair trade.
Absolutely. She says, I'm sure we'll work it out. If he wanted to do this all himself, he would have done it himself. He sent you. You're a major domo. It's going to be fine.
Yes.
Don't worry about it. You see off in the distance Mos Espa, and we've seen a number of shots of Mos Espa now in Book of Boba Fett. It's got like there's this cliff face, and then down inside that is a valley where most of Mos Espa is. Past Mos Espa is where formerly Jabba's palace can be found. But you have not reached the outskirts of Mos Espa when you get a bad feeling, Sundown. You just immediately seize upon you that you get a bad feeling about something. What do you do?
I open my brain.
Go ahead and roll plus weird and mark that weird stat.
Oh, that's 11.
Ooh, it's awesome. So do you remember those Bib Fortunas? They kind of just mentioning that I have trouble with these three gangs and keeping the peace in Mos Espa is a bit of a problem. So I want to prop up myself with Moshuta deals.
Uh-huh.
You catch sight of someone pulling some tarp, like sand colored tarp, off of an auto cannon that they've set up. They being this group of Clatoonians. I have a picture of a Clatoonian. They were in an episode of Mandalorian with the ATST, but they're also in Book of Boba Fett. They're basically prominent brows, visible teeth, kind of brown skin, like a really, really deep brown, like leather. They have a very leather-like skin. And these Clatoonians have set up an autocannon, and they plan on shooting you out of the sky. That's an 11. Congratulations.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
Arby has it.
Like
she sees like weep, weep, weep. She's like, oh, what? Taps the like. I'm not sure this works. But what do you do?
Like, I like turn quick.
Sweet. So she is going to grab hold of the stick as all of a sudden you hear the very, very obvious sound of two shots fire off. She like this is a freighter that has wings mostly to look like wings. Like
okay.
One of the wings is sheared off by the second shot as they dial it in, and you can tell that things are not going well. As RV is trying to get it under control, and she's screaming out, "Hey, you guys might get ready for a bumpy ride." What do you do?
Well, I have this new force talent thing.
Do you? Do
I
you?
do. I do. Yes. I can, cause environment harm.
Can you? Yeah, yeah.
Close or far. Yeah.
I think before you did it on Snap, and we talked about this. There's no move immediately associated, but I think that
Right.
doing this while a whole lot of stuff is going on,
Uh-huh.
to me, feels like you're acting under fire. Does that feel fair?
Yes, that feels fair. I was going to say I feel like I should roll something for this.
Fair, fair. All
Shouldn't
right.
just happen. I don't think. Okay. Cool.
Oh, is
also-
that your fourth mark on cool?
Yes, it is.
It's you. You're
That's
so
fine.
cool too. You're cool as the other side of the pillow.
7.
Okay. On a 7 to 9, you flinch, hesitate, or stall. And I think what happens is you do it, but it takes a little bit of concentration. You get shook around a little bit, and another shot hits the aft of the ship, sends it spinning. The moment that you finally feel that connection and are able to summon up, and the maelstrom hits that auto cannon, and it just starts tearing it. It's one environment, right? Like oxygen
Yeah.
dissipates. Is it the same thing as before, or do you think there's something newer? I mean, can we reuse our special effects program that we devised
Yeah,
for the previous?
I think it's the same thing this time.
Good for budget. I'm just saying. Awesome.
So yeah, sandstorm, hard to breathe.
Yeah,
Just like
clutching
weird,
clutching at
unpleasant
his
to
throat,
even
fall
look in the
into his
direction.
knees, and then the auto cannon gets twisted up in the weird and we we're going down. Sorry, I don't have any jetpacks. Strap yourself in. And sorry. Somebody needs to be held. He now has a thing where he constantly demands that I hold him. So sorry. That's all. It won't last that long. It's fine. I can play one-handed. Okay. Yeah, you crash, and I think crashing sounds like something that would take some harm. Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
All right. So I think we'll just say 2. Like, do you get strapped in, do you think, at the last minute so that it's only 2?
Actually, I kind of think no. I think if I was concentrating hard enough on this, like I'm not really just sort of distantly aware of what's going on, I don't think I would have strapped in.
All right. Sweet. So then 3 harm, and please roll the harm move. Oh, but you have 1 armor, so only 2.
I do have 1 armor, yes. So that's 9.
So roll -2. Good luck.
Oops. Oh, it won't let me do that. Ooh, 6.
Oof. I think it's a thing where boom, boom, boom. The sand's actually helpful in that she bounces a couple times rather than just slamming everything in. You get shaken around a little bit. Arvy lets out a scream. You hear a drunken, slurred scream from the back. And then everything is quiet for a minute. The world swims. We see 2 suns overhead, and then just winks out as you lose consciousness for a bit. So, Ale1N, this may be our last scene of the session as you give a rousing speech to the people of Moshuta that you've all liberated and freed. Explain to them how you're saving them from a
Absolutely.
horrible disease.
And sway is roll plus cool. Great. And I get +1 forward on that because I'm following good medical advice. And what we may learn is it's always better to have the medic give this advice than to have the head of state do it. But let's see how that goes. So 2d6
Okay.
and cool is +1. Here we go.
All right. 2d6 and cool plus your benefit of
That is a 7.
wow. And
Where's
what
the-
move are we relying on?
Sway someone, I think.
Okay, that seems appropriate. Sway someone. Let's take a look at our 7 to 9. 7 to 9. They don't want to go along. Give me just a few snippets of how does L1N
you know that the intention is to make Moshuta safe for everyone who comes here, and to make all of you healthier and wealthier and wiser. Therefore, it is important to avoid the arrival of infection. Droids do not carry contagious infections, but some meat beings do. It is to everyone's advantage if those meat beings who show any symptoms, look at Korstafel, are given an opportunity to be treated before they infect someone else with a condition that we may not be able to help with. This is why the new arrangements make sense.
And there's a bit of murmuring, and the droids are all like, here, 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 here. Absolutely. She makes an excellent point. It is only logical. Do not be offended, meat beings. And I think Lomez Gomes, who is the guy who owner and operator of the Dubeck farm, Broken Acres Farms, and he spritzes himself a couple times with this little water spritzer, and he speaks up. He says, Ale went in. I can appreciate that. There was a time when we had we called it the swamp flu, came through, and man, like a lot of people got real sick, but people are scared. How long? I think maybe a week seems fair.
Ali will look at Korstafel. Korstafel, is a week long enough?
If they don't have any symptoms after a week, I don't see why we would need to keep them.
And then Loma says, no, I meant like a week to figure out what the cure is. We could wait for a week. People are all murmuring like, oh yeah, a week's fine. A week's fine. These people get recompensed, right? Oh, I'm sure they'll work that all out. That's fine. That's in the budget, I'm sure.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure what he's suggesting.
He's saying find a cure to this disease in a week, or people will be real pissed off that you're just holding meat beings in quarantine and making them all sicker.
This is not we don't have a research facility here. I can treat people, but I can't come up with a cure that doesn't already exist. We can treat those where we know what diseases they have, but we can't just come up with.
You're not going to agree to that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think
what Korstafel says seems logical. I don't think that is a sensible approach.
And then Vorn, who runs the junk shop, he'll speak up and say, sure, it takes time to figure that stuff out. I think letting all these people in is not the best idea. And letting them in the warehouse, it's right in the middle. If they've got it, let's just not let them in at all. If we can't cure this disease, why should we bring them right in the middle of the town? Just one of those people sneaking out, you're going to make everybody else sick, and we don't know when we're going to have a cure.
He's like challenging the law, right?
Yeah, I think he
is.
Is
there something for that?
Oh, gosh, yeah. When someone breaks your laws, roll plus weird. Oh, that is a miss.
Oh my!
That man has broken the laws. Arrest him.
First, like, what? I didn't do anything. And there's a droid that comes up, and one of the Gamorreans kind of cuffs him in the back of the head. Shut up, old man.
Because the laws as they have been stated, are that all are welcome in Moshuta. To undermine the law is not appropriate, Vaughan.
And yeah, he's not happy about it, but the droids are all here. This is an excellent plan. We must remain logical and work together.
Hail the
Listen to the
unbolter.
law. Listen to the law. It is logical. It is for your benefit. Please, everyone, disperse. And the droids are all like, please disperse. Please disperse.
Thank you for coming and agreeing to this policy change.
Whew. Okay. Does anyone have any like pocket scenes or any follow-ups they want to do before we bring the session to a close? We definitely have some space for something quick if we have something. All right. What do you want to do?
I think we see as the crowd disperses, not necessarily in very good, well-natured way, Ali will turn to Kostafel and say, I think that went quite well.
I'm not sure I agree, but you know, I did this for Timo. I'll do this for you. If you ask me for advice, I'll tell you what I think is best, but I'm not making your decisions for you.
I will always follow the science.
Oh God. Oh, so painful. And the thing is, you literally are following the science. That's just great. That's so good. And I think Sister Arya, like we close with Sister Arya's pensive look of like that did not go the way she had hoped. Oh, pray to the wills. And I think that the last thing that we see is Sister Arya and a few of the other sisters bring food to the refugees who are being kept in the warehouse. It's entirely possible that they may have to liberate them. Oof, oof, oof. Okay, sweet. That will bring our session to a close. We have some post-session stuff to do. Friends, let's do it. So at the end of the session, you will choose a character who knows you better than they used to. You can, if more than one character knows you better, you can choose at most two. A little bit that we discovered last session. I didn't love on Beaker enough, and now he's decided to bark at something. I apologize. Let's start from the left-hand side of the keeper, heading towards the right. Ali, who knows you better?
I think Core Starfell certainly does, because of all of our interaction. I'm not sure, Bethany. Does Sundown know Ali better?
I mean, I saw what happens when you get the opportunity, you take over Moshuta. I didn't know that that you were capable of anything like that before.
Yeah, I think take over or fall into is
Yeah.
the interesting question here. But yeah,
tell.
then maybe they both do.
Okay.
I can't remember what the consequence of that is.
They both get to mark +1 HX with Ali on their columns or their sheet, which is around row 40 or so. Core Starfell, who knows you better? And if no one knows you better, then you can do something as well.
Yeah. I think both, actually. I've given Ali some advice and told her how I think and showed her how I think. And I mean, I was really laying it all on the line to try to rescue Sundown. I think that was character revealing.
Yes, I would strongly agree. That rolls over for Sundown then, correct?
Yep.
Cool. So rolling over HX. Whenever your HX with someone reaches 4, then 3 things happen. You reset it to HX +1, mark 1 XP, and then I've got session end on the moves tab up there. You can ask, and you can think about that question and maybe ask it during the week via email or whatever, so that Undish has time
Okay.
to think about it, but that will be asking a question of Core.
I mean, I think I'll ask the same thing as I did last time. What secret have I learned about you? That way you have the whole week to think about it then.
That's nice.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that a lot.
I mean, I think the secret is that Core is willing to do violence for his friends, basically, or for people he trusts. He's not
Yep.
too concerned with with the Hippocratic Oath or the Star Wars equivalent of that.
Nice. I like that. That's a good answer. And then Sundown, who knows you better?
That is a good question. I think Ali definitely does. Kind of in the same way that I know more about her, like, oh well, you'll just like work for somebody who, kidnaps you and drags you, like you just agree to that. And the answer
You
is
think
yes. Apparently I
that's the
will.
safe option?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that's, I don't know what Ali's opinion about that is, other than probably Sundown is a complete coward, which is at least partly true.
That is
But
an
yes, you
illogical
know more about
decision, Sundown.
yeah. I don't know about Core. Since I was unconscious most of the time that Core and Sundown were in the same place at the same time.
Okay, cool. Then we'll stick with you. I have 2 questions for you, Sundown. Judge for yourself. Are you satisfied with your place in the galaxy?
No, I just was in a shipwreck.
Okay, you get an XP. And then does your scavenge choice still hold true? Now that's an interesting question because I feel like maybe it doesn't. But I wanted to check with you.
Let me see what my other option is. Where is my other option?
It's on row 22.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, let's see what it is. When your resources run thin, you are more than willing to use your psychic abilities to exploit and extort people. You have
And also, if the other option doesn't feel right too, we can write a new scavenge option to reflect your current situation.
Okay, yeah, because I think this is not quite right, but it's closer. So I'm changing mine.
Okay. Cool, which means you do not get an XP, but it will change
Right.
your barter. Let's go ahead and go with the barter +2 for now.
Okay.
And then we'll just tweak that. More than willing to use your psychic abilities. You and I can chat about it in the intervening.
Okay. Cool.
Sweet. Then Core, are you satisfied with your place in the galaxy?
No, I think he's kind of resigned a bit. But yeah, new boss, same as the old boss. Not quite, but he sees that. I think he sees that Ali doesn't really have a talent for this sort of diplomatic leadership that's probably required at this point. So he's, but no, is the short answer.
Okay, and that will earn you an XP. And then does your scavenge choice still hold true?
I think that's going to change as well. Not really because of his intentions, because currently it's people support you out of appreciation and you turn all their support back into resources providing more care. And the other one starts the same, but you're able to live a little comfortably on their gratitude for your care. I think that's more reasonable given the current state of affairs. It's not because of Core's choice. It's not that he's keeping resources for himself, but there's enough provided to Ali and like the gang and the leadership that he has a more comfortable life.
There you go. Props of working for Ali's organization. It's all plus you got basically 3 barter out of it. You're for -2 and +1. That means you do not get an XP. And then, last but not least, AL1N. Are you satisfied with your place in the galaxy?
Absolutely. This is what I am destined to do. I am destined to provide safety and security for beings of all varieties.
Cool.
Thank you.
Cool. You can take it easy until something changes. Now, does your scavenge choice still hold true?
Yes, I've already cut and pasted the one of the lawmaker ones across.
Okay.
So it
I
now
see.
reads: you don't hold yourself above your holdings population. You live like them, subject to the same tides of plenty and want. You have barter +0.
Nice. I like it a lot. That
Yeah,
is.
I have more resources than you do.
And that will be true of most of the meat being population of Moshuta, because most of us droids just need, access to a plug.
Yeah.
Access to a plug. Sweet. So that will bring all that post-game stuff. Before we do Stars and Wishes, I'd like to take about 2-minute break. So let's do that. Sweet. So we will do wishes so that we can end with stars. Who'd like to lead off with wishes for our last session next week?
All my wishes have come true. Whatever you do to the situation or Ali now is just fine by me. I'm chuffed to have managed to come back as a different playbook within 3 sessions. That's just amazing. Thank you.
Came back twice.
Twice, yeah. Once enlightened and once in charge. It's some kind of bizarre fate that's at work. The force is strong in somebody.
I love it. Cool. Thank you, Alan. So Anisha or Bethany, who'd like to go next with wishes?
I just want to see what happens in the next game set in Moshuta with this, because I don't think we will resolve all of this in one session. Going to be interesting to hear about what happens next.
Yeah, I think I'm on that. On that. I'm just kind of along for the ride and want to see what happens next. At this point, I don't have a specific wish. I don't think. I may come up with one, but
Cool.
can't think of one right now.
If I can refer a wish, then I think that I've had all my plot arc has gone done. I would be, so my wish is to just sit and watch another plot arc or two unfold before my very eyes, aiding only in probably creating more chaos before there is more peace.
Oh, cool. I just realized, Bethy, that behind you is probably the freighter that's going. I mean, it's Razor Crest, but still.
Yeah.
going down.
There's the freighter.
Oh, Tengu's Pride's the worst luck. Tengu's Prize and RV are an NPC in a ship from a game of Off-Worlders, I want to say. So they've had bad luck all along. This is par for the course for that character. I love it.
Okay.
Bethany, you went last with wishes. You get to go first with stars. Any stars you'd like to throw out?
I mean, stars for the whole Ali come back as a different a different playbook and become the tyrant of Moshuta. Like that was a twist I was not expecting, but like once it happened, I was like, no, yeah, I can see this. I believe this.
Nice. Cool. Anish, what about you? Any stars?
Yeah, Sundown just taking the job as Spin Fortuna's Major Domo. I love that. That's such a fun move. And of course, Ali's attempt at politics is highly entertaining.
It was.
And a star to you, Rich, for checking in about the whole quarantine thing. That was good too.
Thank you. I remember first seeing that in Hatchet City, the Apocalypse World like con scenario, and I thought it was really, really interesting and cool. But I also realized that contextually it could feel very different. So I appreciate everybody being open to it, but also let's continue to check in if it ever gets to the point where you're like, yeah, that's not fun anymore. We can tweak it. Alan, what about you? Any stars?
Oh yeah, I mean, thank you for rolling with that, Rich. You know, talk about, you know, in these mystery games where things don't turn out the way you plan. So thank you for just allowing me to just shake the box, really. And yes, to the rest of you, if I'm leaning too heavily into following the science and all that stuff, please do just steer me away, okay? And of course, Starfell getting up close and dangerous with a Wookiee. Who knew? Who knew the badass? And yes, Sundown, Bethany, just you know, Sundown, kind of always looking for, yeah, this looks like it could be the line of least resistance, maybe.
That's very Sundown.
Yeah, Bib Fortuna, yeah. I am beginning to see here the roots of Bib Fortuna's fall, I have to tell you. which we know is on the horizon.
The book of Sundown.
I did take a new move, or not a move, a piece of brainer gear that will help me do the deep brain scan by just looking at someone.
Oh, sweet.
If you think I'm not using that on Bib Fortuna.
Oh my goodness me. Yeah, because as we speak, there's this guy crawling out of, you know, being looked after by a bunch of sand people out in the desert somewhere, who's going to be an issue on the horizon at some point.
At some point. Oh, delightful. I want to say I got nervous when you said lawmaker, but everybody rolled with it. So I know we're right near the end of time, but I do want to say stars to everybody for being cool with us going from like street level bounty on one person, squabble fights to, yeah, delegations, and almost like became a legacy game out of nowhere. And you guys rolled with it really well, and I appreciate that. I know I gave you almost like, Bethany, okay, here's your prompt. Go get trade from this group. And you were awesome. All of you guys were really, really fun. This was, again, a joy. Quite enjoying the apocalypse world burned over in Star Wars. It is never what I expect. I'm glad that I don't prep, because, gosh, who could have thought this was going to happen? Lost an arm, became the leader of Moshuta. I mean, I kind of felt like Sundown might end up at Bib Fortuna's. That was the one where I'm like, yeah, that might happen. So cool stuff. Really looking forward to finishing things off.
That was brilliant. Thank you so much for that. That was so much fun.
Good game.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Thank you all, and we'll end it right on time.